Hello, my name is Dan Truckee. I'm the director of the Beaumier Upper Peninsula Heritage Center here at Northern Michigan University. And welcome to From the Vaults, a weekly segment featuring different artifacts from the Beaumier Center's collection. Today we have something really cool for you. It's this wonderful hat that you see, which is part of the Glenn Seaborg collection here at the Beaumier Center. And for those of you who don't know who Glenn Seaborg was, he was a Nobel laureate chemist who was born just 15 miles from here in Ishpeming, Michigan back in 1912. At the age of 10, his family moved to Los Angeles, where he was educated and attended UCLA to study chemistry. He then went on to Cal Berkeley for his doctorate and became one of the most important figures in elemental chemistry of the 20th century. He not only was part of the research team that discovered plutonium, but he also played a role in the Manhattan Project. And to this day, he is the only person for which an element was named while he was still alive. That element is number 106 on the elemental chart, Seaborgium. However, one of his most important contributions to science was his role as the chairman of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission from 1961 to 1971. It is hard to overstate the importance of this body during the Cold War, as it danced a fine line between developing safe atomic energy around the world and the proliferation of atomic weapons. Where Seaborg has played an important role in developing the first atomic bomb, he was against its use in conflict and even petitioned President Truman not to use it at the end of World War II. During Seaborg's time at the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, he worked directly with three presidents, starting with John F. Kennedy, who appointed him, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and lastly, Richard Nixon. He was also an advisor to Presidents Eisenhower, Ford, and Carter. For President Reagan, he served on the National Commission on Excellence in Education, and the commission produced a report, A Nation at Risk, the imperative of educational reform. But let's get back to the hat, and it's why it's part of this collection and why we have it. There are many who might recognize this hat as being the same type that was worn by President Lyndon Baines Johnson before, during, and after his presidency. LBJ's hat was a Stetson, and the style was called the open road. It was a popular hat amongst gentlemen ranchers and wealthy oilmen in Texas during the middle 20th century and still is today. In fact, both President Truman and Eisenhower also wore this style of hat. But it is most synonymous with LBJ, who truly popularized it in American society. Here are some photographs of one actually owned by LBJ. You can see the inside tag, which has a map of Texas and the words Johnson City, LBJ Ranch. And on the inside brim, it is stamped, made by Stetson, especially for Lyndon Baines Johnson. Now back to the hat from our collection. Inside the hat box, that I do not have with me right now, is this tag, which states that it was a gift to Glenn Seaborg from LBJ. Interesting enough, though, the hat itself does not have a Stetson manufacturing tag or emblem inside of it. Instead, it has a logo of Neiman Marcus on a Texan map in the location of Dallas. And on the hat band, it says Neiman Marcus with its tag, and on the other side it is stamped Churchill Limited. Now, Churchill Limited is a noted hat manufacturer in London, and it had created lower cost versions of the open road style. So though LBJ had the Stetsons made specifically for himself, he purchased less expensive ones to give to his friends. Considering how many he gave out during his lifetime, this is probably a good idea. Regardless, this is a great artifact. It is in excellent condition, and it shows the great esteem with which Glenn Seaborg was held by LBJ during the Cold War and by other presidents as well. His work was incredibly important to the American atomic energy effort. Now the reason why we have this and the other items from the Seaborg collection in our possession. Back in the 1990s, Seaborg retired from the University of California, and he was looking for a home for his collection. By this time, NMU had already created the Seaborg Center for Science Education, and though he did not attend NMU, he had a strong connection to the UP and the university. He decided that he would donate his papers and memorabilia to NMU in the mid-90s. Some of the items from his collection are on display in the Seaborg Center on campus, where there is also a replica of his office from Berkeley. In addition, there is a display of artifacts from his career at the Superior Dome. Lastly, if you're interested in doing research on Seaborg, All of his papers are available at the Central Upper Peninsula and NMU archives here on campus in Hardin Hall. So thanks for checking out this edition of From the Vaults, and we'll be back with something really cool next week.